G'day and welcome back to my channel. Now look, last time I had a lot of positive response to the Unspoken Gooch. Yes, you seem to love it. Everybody was giving suggestions and coming up with ideas. So look, I've been encouraged. I'll do another one. So, stand by. Let's have another tug. Roll the credits. Okay, well, many of you would have had your end of year festivities, you know, the big feast of Saturnalia, all that debauchery. Yes, whatever you call it, Christmas, whatever. There's just a lot of eating going on, isn't there? And a lot of drinking and a whole lot of that stuff. That seems to be what it's all about. Yes, for some it's other, but let's just leave it at that. Anyhow, that's out of the way, right? So what's happening now online and, you know, and social media and here and there and on YouTube, and people are posting, look, it's end of the year and I've eaten all my bloody food, and guess what? Here's all the models I've made. Yes, they're all boasting or showing everything they made. And, you know, there's just endless bloody lists of kits. So the thought came to me, how many kits could you build in a year? Or how many kits should you build in a year? Now, I had to think about this and I thought, well, it is going to depend on the person, right? Because like, there's one guy in our Facebook group, and he's on his 77th model. I think he's still going for the year. Now, you do the math, that's 1.5 every weekend. That's right, and he only does models on the weekend. So he's just churning them out. But admittedly, he hand paints them all, I think, in enamel. I don't think he does any weathering at all. In fact, no, they're all pretty clean. And I don't even think he sort of does any washes or anything. I think he just basically builds them, paints them, wax the decals on. Bloody, got to get some new teeth. Wax the decals on. And that's what he does. So he's happy with that. Nothing wrong with that, if that's what you want to do, you know. And he's mainly doing sort of small scale stuff, from what I can tell, basically. So look, he's just churning them out. He's having fun. That's the hobby for him. And yet there's other people out there that have only built 1 or 2 models a year. And why? Well, it could be that they're time restraints, right? You could be very busy. You could actually have a life. And, you know, you'll have a family and other responsibilities and what have you, so you don't have much time for your modelling. So, you know, my friend Bernard, he's always busy on his trains. Yes, he does have toy trains, but he actually works on the trains. And yeah, he's looked flat out with bloody extra overtime and all the rest of it, and the poor bugger doesn't really get a lot of time for modelling. I've seen him do more in the last couple of weeks. I think he's had a bit of a break before Christmas than he did all year. I think he might have completed 1 kit. Then there's others that make a few. Good friend of mine over in West Australia, David Eves. G'day, David. Sandgroper. How are you, mate? David probably puts out 6 or so kits a year, maybe a few more. And he only builds them on the weekends, basically, in his garage, you know. But all his kits, top quality. He comes up with absolutely wonderful schemes and ideas, and he churns out this magical and marvellous stuff, right? I'll try and include some pictures here, steal from David's page so I can show you. So that's another thing. For him, 6 or so for the year. And that's basically been me this year. I mean, I've only really done about 5. I've got 3 still on the workbench that I hope to get done in the next week. They'll creep into next year. But basically, I've had so many interruptions, so much going on. I've had life getting in the way. And then I kind of got carried away with that bounty. Not that I minded. You know, I'm not complaining. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And, you know, I did all the extra scratch work on it. And then I've researched and done more rigging than I've ever done in my whole life. You know, I've rigged ships before, but not to this level of accuracy. You know, I used to just chuck a whole lot of string on them. No, you follow instructions and make them look really good. And I did all that, and you just put pulleys and things on. But I've really gone to town on the bounty. In fact, there'll be a video out soon. I'll show you how I've done the running rigging. And there's a lot of pulleys, and there's a lot of mucking around with that. But I've nearly finished it. I hope to finish it this week. So for me, life and the fact that I've got to great detail in my models has slowed me down. So 5. 5 is all I got done in a year. I did mess around with another 3 that I've nearly got finished, so I might get 8 done, sort of. And then I counted up, for the whole year, there were another 12 that I was working on, that I just did a little bit of work every now and then. I model for Friday Night Model Club, my BT2, and I just potted around with that. And others I just had in the stash that I sort of work on every now and then. A commission job for Jason. Yes, Jason, it'll get done one day, mate. Yeah, just don't hold your breath. And I do a bit on that when I can, you know, when I'm sort of being distracted by everything else, and I'm sort of feeling fairly serious and getting down to it, because I just don't want to cock that one up. So that becomes the thing. If you're serious and you really want to produce almost museum quality models, well, your output's probably going to be low. So for you, maybe 1, maybe 3, maybe at the most only half a dozen models a year, because, you want to put the effort into it and you want to do something a bit different. You want to try out some techniques. That might be okay. And then for others, well, getting close to 100 a year, I've seen people that do that. That may be exactly what you want. All you want to do is you like a sort of Edward Weekend Edition, or maybe a Tamiya kit or Airfix or Revel, one of the ones that are easy to put together. Doesn't require any photo etch, no aftermarket, nothing. Just put it together, quickly paint it, although airbrushing it should be fairly quick, just as quick as doing it by a sort of hairy brush. But anyhow, quick paint job, put the decals on, finish it up, nice and neat, lovely, put it on the shelf, move on. That's a method too. So what's yours? What do you do? Do you spend forever? Oh, can you hear aeroplanes today? It's the first one this morning. Sunday morning. Yep, we'll just wait for that to go by. Talk amongst yourself. Yeah. If you need a wee break, this is the time. Nip out now and have a slash. Yeah. Used to say roll them if you got them, but you can't talk about cigarettes anymore. No, you get in a lot of bloody trouble, bastards. Okay, so that's gone. And Noisy Car won't start up because he's pissed off for the day. Yeah, Noisy Car started up before. I thought it was somebody's lawnmower. I was thinking, bloody hell, it's a bit early. Who's a bastard with a lawnmower? And who's got that lawnmower who's got no freaking muffler on it? And no, it's Mr. Noisy Car. Subaru, with super duper extractors. Anyhow, I digress. So, how many models could you build in a year? Well, you could build 100. You could do 2 every weekend. As I say, they'd have to be easy kits. You have to build them out of the box. And, your method has to be fairly sort of simple. You need the time every weekend, so, you need weekends pretty well free, because even those sort of kits are going to take 4 or 5 hours each day. So you'd need free weekends, and all you do is get stuck in, do your models, that's it, done. Get on with your life during the week. Or, the other extreme, you only build those few because you really want to test your skills or push the envelope, or you just want to make it more of a craft, really get into it, which is what I've been doing with the ships. So then that extrapolates from this, and this is why I was thinking, how many kits can you build in a year? Hello, Basset Cat. Bloody cat comes up and licks my leg. How many kits can you build? Well, how many kits do you need in your stash? And I sort of talked about stash last time, but this is the thing. For me, I'll retire soon, and then I've got a 10-year plan. So my 10-year plan was based on my old build rate, and I was building about 20 kits a year. But admittedly, I was doing a bit of egg kits and a few little sort of cheapies and quickies and just sort of punching them out and having fun with them. And then balancing that with 1 ship a year, which I probably didn't finish, and a few aircraft and a few armour, and it'd add up to about 20 kits for the year. So I based my 10-year retirement on that. Basically I'd finish up, and I'd reckon I'd have 10 years left in me before I was dribbling and drooling and ain't able to glue anything together anymore, until I was so insensible and raving lunatic. Hang on, that's happened now. Anyhow, and until something happened that I couldn't model anymore, it was becoming uncomfortable. I mean, it's difficult enough now. I have to wear these super bloody 3x bloody reading glasses to see what I'm going on. I'm going to subscribe to 4 times. That's, 4 times magnification next year. This is the reality of becoming an old bastard. Okay? It's all very well for you young whippersnappers doing the hobby now, and you've got wonderful eyes and all the rest of dexterity, and you can get on the piss all night and bounce up in the next day and be able to get in there and the workbench. No! Gee, whiskers. I mean, I hadn't drunk since my birthday. Basically, I had a gout attack and thought I better slow down a bit on the old alcohol. And I hadn't had a drink until Christmas Day. And on Christmas Day, I had a lovely big dinner with my girlfriend, of some years. Ex-girlfriend, really, yes. I don't have a see her anymore. I mean, she's 120 kilometres away. Can't really have much conjugals at this distance, can you? No, not exactly. Well, it's phone sex. Yeah. I don't think she's figured that one out yet. She doesn't know where to put the vibrating phone. So, Christmas Day, I had 2 glasses of red wine, and I was useless for a couple of days. I couldn't really do much at all. And this is the reality of being older. And my demographic for this channel really are you old farts, I know there's a small amount in the 18 to sort of 30-year-old bracket, but most of the people who watch my channel are old bastards like me. We're going a bit grey. The moustache is starting to twirl, and we're talking a lot of shit, and we're remembering the good old days. Yes, so that's us. And the thing is, how much longer? Oh, aeroplane number 2. There you go. You doing the aeroplane count today? It's only been 2. So how much longer can we keep modelling? And if we're putting a stash together, is it practical? Are we going to be able to build everything? See, my build rate of 20 a year, which is what I based my stash of 200. That was the idea. 200 kits. That's it. That's what I'm going to build when I retire, so it won't cost me anything. So that was basically a battleship, a sailing ship, something else, maybe a submarine, or something silly and small, a couple of armour, maybe more, and at least a wings kit, which would take up quite a bit of time. But then, at least another 3 aeroplanes or so. I don't know, add that all up. Something like that, and a few others to fill in. It'd soon come to 20. Some of them were easy. They'd take me a week. Some of them were basically 6-month-long projects, especially the ships. The sailing ship's going to take me 6 months. Battleship might take me 4 months, and I might have a couple of months left to do a little submarine or something. So I calculated that all out, but the reality now is I'm getting a little bit too detailed. So if my build rate's down to 10 or less, well, I'm going to have to live until I am drooling and walking around with my Zimmer frame, annoying everybody in the old people's home. Playing my harmonica. Yes, I've got a harmonica for Christmas. As if the banjo wasn't bad enough, all right? Now, I have promised some of the people online that I will do some harmonica blues, but not in a Gooch. We'll do that in the next video. All right, so look forward to that. And let me know, how many kits do you build in a year? How many kits would you like to build in a year? How many kits do you think you should build in a year? It's a perplexing question, isn't it? All right, that's it. It's goodbye from Australia, and it's hooroo from Harry Houdini.